This is Daniel with PwnCNC, and I'm here to talk about the Shapeoko Pro. Specifically, we're going to be installing my Z independent bracketing system here. So to cover what's in your package, you should have the brace, a couple of M5 by 10 millimeter screws, a couple of aluminum track brackets. You'll have 8 M5 by 20 millimeter screws, a left and a right ear piece. You'll have, I only have 4 here, but you will have 8 locking nuts, M5 locking nuts, as well as the support arms. We'll set those aside for now. The most important thing is to get the bracketing on there. You'll also have a couple of thumb screws and some locking pins, and we'll show you that later. Let's jump into the install, and first thing we're going to start with is our brace. Let's switch around to the back side. All right, here we are on the back side, and we have our brace piece here. What we're going to do is come in from the side, and we're going to slip it right through, up and over the X stepper motor brace here. There's a couple of plastic pieces here and a couple of holes in the back. All you're going to do is just press it right in. We're going to take the 2 M5 by 10 millimeter screws here. We're just going to pop them right in. This isn't going to hold a whole lot. Basically, the idea is the little plastic tabs are going to spread apart inside of that hole and kind of help brace or hold our our brace part in place. Now it's a pressure fit, so don't be surprised if it pulls out away from the carriage. It's not meant to hold it against the carriage. Its primary purpose is to hold it left and right and up and down. So we're going to put both of those in. Be sure to hand screw these in. You don't have to have access to the back of your machine to make this happen. You can just come in from behind, reach over your machine. It's just easier for the camera. So I've got a couple of the braces there. You'll see it wiggle. It does wiggle whenever I do force it. So we're going to switch around to another angle, and we're going to add one of the ears. All right, here we are from the back. We're on the right side of the machine. You guys are looking from the back side. I'm standing in the back, but again, it doesn't matter. You can take one of your ears and a couple of the M5 by 20 millimeter screws, as well as 2 of the M5 locking nuts. You're going to drop the locking nuts into place. If I can get it without it twisting on me. Just drop it right down in there. They're relatively loose hex holes, so you should just be able to drop them right in there. That's going to hold, so be gentle whenever you carry this. Don't turn it upside down. It might fall out. I'm going to reach underneath the gantry so you guys can have plenty of visibility, but set the earpiece right up against the brace. And from the back side, we're going to screw in a couple of, screw in those 2 M5 by 20 millimeter screws. Oop. Now you are screwing into plastic, so be aware of that. Don't use a driver. Hand tighten these into place. They don't need to be super tight. They just need to be a nice tight fit. Well, if I can hold on to it with one hand. There it goes. There. Now one's in snug, and we're going to put the other one in. Now we're going to repeat the exact same thing with the left ear, and I'm going to actually jump the video up to the front side of the installation. All right, for our right side, we're going to take a couple of M5 locking nuts. I went ahead and grabbed a couple. We're going to put them where the where the nylon is on the back side, and I'll show you why here in a minute. So we're just going to hold it in there. Grab this other one out of the track here. We're going to put both of them where we're going to be screwing. there's an option to screw accessories in from the front. So those are to hold the accessories, not these tracks. These tracks are going to go the top, inside, bottom, outside. So we're going to take an M5 by 20 millimeter screw. We're going to put it right through that hole and down here, that hole. So pop that top one in first and tighten that up. So I'm just going to give it a loose fit so I can get my other screw in there before I tighten it down. There we go. And just kind of give an even tightening on both of the screws. This is M5 hardware, and it's going into the M5 locking nuts, so that you're basically tightening the track to the plastic. So there you go. A little bit of side-to-side wiggle is perfectly acceptable. The back and back should be pretty solid as well. So go ahead and repeat that process on the left side. There we go. As you can see, I've got a couple of nice track brackets. They're all in place. Notice that it does widen the carriage. So it's just an issue with the pretty much any of the Shapeoko CNCs. The carriage gets widened just a tad, mainly because there isn't a whole lot of accessory capability right here in the front or in the router mount. So set those track brackets right next to it. It does widen it up about a ½ inch on either side, so an inch overall, which means we do need to take care of something on the right side before we keep going. So right here on our right side of our machine, we're going to want to take our, loosen our, I don't know if I can get the right hex driver. Looks like it's a 2.5. We're going to want to loosen our proximity switch, and we want to pull it as far inward as possible. We need that couple extra millimeters just to keep our support arms from scraping right here along the right side extrusion. But pulling that proximity switch out a little helps with the homing situation. All right, here we are with all of our parts for our support arms. We've got a left and a right. I call them left and right only because there's texture on one side, and we kind of want that texture on the outside so that it looks nice. It will also line up with the texture that's on the tracks, on the Shapeoko Pro specifically. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of these, our arm and our track, and just kind of wiggle it on there. So what we want is the L part up here to be facing backwards, and we want the foot part to be facing forward. So we're going to do that to our other machine here, or our other there it goes. Just kind of push it in like that. And you can use a flat surface to make sure that's kind of nice and steady. But we've got our two pieces here. A couple of the other hardware we've got is on each side there's going to be an M5 locking nut and a M5 by, I believe this is 20 millimeter socket head screws, one on either side. There's a couple of M3 by 10 millimeter socket head screws. These are optional. You don't have to use these. These make it nice in a certain situation, and I'll explain that in a minute. We've got a couple of locking pins. These just drop right into place. I have some optional nuts that you could put on the bottom. These are just M4 screws. So if you wanted to secure it, you could. They just drop right down in through here, right through the boot's wing, side wings, locks that boot in place and prevents it from moving anywhere. We found that it's not necessary to screw a nut in the bottom. So let's see. And then of course there's a couple of thumb screws and these special track nuts, T-nuts that are designed specifically for these tracks. Now, the thumb screws, I believe they're M4 by 45. So if you're making this, that would be what you'd use. All right, here we are with the arms. Again, the back part, the track, the part that goes into the track is right there. It's going to be on the back side. The L is going to come out and forward on this case. We're going to take one of our M5 by 20 millimeter screws. We're going to push it right through the front, right through the track, through the arm, and right into the back. On the back side, we're going to take an M5 nut just kind of push it in, and that's going to pop our socket head back out. But we can take our M3, nope, M4. Here we go, M4 hex driver. We're just going to kind of hold it right back there for a second or two till we get our threads going. Once it's in there, then we just tighten that down. There we go. It doesn't have to be super tight. It doesn't need to be sticking out a ton. So there we go. We've got one done. I'm going to jump over and do the other. All right, here we are on the right side of the carriage. I've got my right support arm and the T-nut. I'm going to hold that T-nut back here in the back. Slide it right in. I may need to use my screw to kind of hold it, but once I've got it, I can use one finger to hold it back there. Take my support arm with my thumb screw, slide that right in, find the hole on that T-nut, on that track nut, and just kind of thread it in. Now the normal operation is you loosen it up, slide it up or down, until you get it used to it, until this breaks in. It may be a little tight to raise these up and down, but not to worry, they will loosen. But then you can just tighten it down, and now your boot won't go anywhere. Back and forth, there's some side and side motion, but that's fine because once the boot is in, it kind of holds it in place. Here we are with a version 2 boot, and you should have like 4 heat inserts. It's really hard to see, but you may need to loosen these 2 screws, because once you've gotten the boot into the arm and it snaps into place, we want to make sure that the center line of your boot matches the center line, the center line of your router matches the center line of your boot. Now you do that by using a, a M2.5 millimeter screw or hex driver to adjust these arms frontward and backwards, right? So we're going to tighten that up on both sides. Of course, I already configured this side. There we go. Now our boot is ready to go. Again, you can load this from the front or the back, depending on where you put those M3 screws from the bottom. Again, I don't have them on here, so I can slide it in from the front or the back. Drop my locking pins into place. They just drop right in and they sit right there. All right, we have our bracketing and our boot all installed. We're going to hit connect, and let's go ahead and home our machine. So initialize, it's going to go up. It's going to come over. The boot will shift just a tiny bit right there. It's nothing to be concerned about, because once you've got the bracketing and all that installed, that little bend, your carriage is going to come back this way a little while, and it's going to be exceedingly rare that you're going to be bumping up against this edge here. I will look further into it to try to prevent that bending, because the bending, it is concerning, but it is nothing that will damage your boot or anything like that. You'll be perfectly fine. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the installing the dust boot. This will be version 2, version 3, or version 4. Basically our Z independent bracketing system here. And yeah, this is Daniel again with PwnCNC, and happy making.